What's up, boys? What's up, boys? Welcome back to the TABC Summer League podcast with the one and only reigning champion, Chiam Marcus, who started off the season, had a really good game on a really good team, and now we were once teammates, and now we played against each other on opening night. I have to say we got to give a shout out to the Levies because of how great the broadcast has been. We've been able to watch every single game. So I think this might be the most informed Summer League podcast yet. And I'm excited to have you on. What's up, dude?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's gonna be some good stuff.
Yeah, we'll get it started. Um, let's go. I'm gonna share my screen right now. And hold on, let's do it. Share screen. Hold on 1 second. Just gotta do this the right way. All right, I'm sharing my screen. Let's start off. What game do you want to start with, my dude?
Running from the top, I guess, makes the most sense.
All right, yeah. So we'll start up at the top. Cavaliers, the Unity Bucks. The Bucks took it. I gotta say that what were your thoughts on the game?
I don't know. It was a very interesting game because number one, Ben Haber was out and he got
Right.
replaced by Jeremy Siegel, who ended up being a bucket. Thank God, our seventh round pick. And I don't know. It was a big like. This is the first game of our team, and both these teams are going to be much better down the line.
Yeah, I don't think if I'm the Cavs, I worry too much. Like I thought, here's the thing: the Weinbergers are going to be great. The Weinbergers are going to be good. They play with the same kind of guys every season. They're gamers. Sure, they don't have Kelson this year. Sure, they don't have Mo, but they traded in Alex Kelson and Mo Kelson for essentially Ben Hamer and Danny Weinberger, and that's a pretty good trade. Like I would argue that Danny Weinberger, who looked great, he looked absolutely great the other night. I would argue that he's as good as Alex Kelson, and then you add Ben Hamer to the mix. They've never really had that, so I would actually argue that this iteration of the Weinbergers is the best iteration of the Weinbergers yet. And this is a team that a couple of years ago made the finals. Now, obviously, they weren't their best iteration without Ben Haber, but I also think look, they played a 2-3 zone against this Cavs team who doesn't really have a point guard, right? So if you
Cavs are a
look at the
big
Cavs
squad, though.
roster,
At
huh?
least, at least the Cavs look big on the live stream.
The Cavs did look they are big. They have Sammy Marcus. They have David Katz, Morty Shapiro. Like they have Sammy Marcus and John Lair with Avinat, Saminat, David Katz and Morty Shapiro. But David and Morty, they kind of play differently, right? David's more of a full court guy. I mean, Morty played great. David played great. They just were going up against a 2-3 without really a point guard to set the tone. And when we've seen, Sammy not be the best that player that he's been, that the year he was on the JJ team, the year he was on the Dan team, the year he was on our team, he was kind of playing off guard. He's not really a point guard. He's a two guard. He's like Alex Caruso. He's not really a point guard. He's more like an off guard, right? So, and there's nothing
Hmm.
wrong. So, I think this team is going to learn against a 2-3. It's their first time playing together versus a team, the Weinbergers, who've been playing together for freaking years and years and years. I would surmise by game 5, by week 5, that a simple 2-3 would not stunt this Cavs team the way it did. Sammy Marcus had a great game. David Katz had a great game. Shapiro had a solid game. He was good. You could tell it's still there.
Yeah, Morty
I'm not.
Shap and David Katz are going to bring it every single week. They're both very good talents in this league, and they're going to get points. But I think the Cavs this past week. They really beat themselves. Again, it's the first week of the league. Just layups in general. They're a big team, and it's just that first week rust like that I saw a lot of the teams in this league have.
There was a crap ton of first week rust, and we'll definitely get into that for sure. And this is one team that had it, and Weinberger's always come out strong. So Dove Weinberger texted me and he said, "Hey, you want to see the upset of the century?" I said, I don't. I watched that game. I don't think it was. You guys did what you did, you know. And that kid and that guy Siegel. Watch out for Jeremy Siegel. That's his name. He's now had 17 points and 16 points in the two games he's played. Now, if I was you, I would have yelled at him and said, like, why are you subbing the night before you have to guard Jack Turell and Ben Brenner? Like, you
I
shouldn't
didn't
be.
I didn't know it was him, bro. I texted on the chat. Anyone know who this number 7 is? Maybe we could pick him up tomorrow because we were missing our best player. And he goes like, Jeremy Siegel, it's me. I'm like, that's epic. That's epic. Love to see
He
that
looked awesome. He was cooking. He really made a difference maker. I think he's going to be really good for your team.
for sure.
Um, let's move on to your favorite team, the Rockets versus the Nuggets. I'll start off on the Nuggets and I'll let you go in on the Rockets, and then I'll come back on the Rockets and we'll play back and forth here. I think this Nuggets team is a really complete squad. Burry did it again, right? He got Mo Heller, and he got an ultimate game from Ethan Alter, who had 20 something points. He was awesome, and that's not considering that had Josh Klein and Justin Sushine. It really looked good. That team looked really complete. They look like they're poised to make a deep run. What do you take on the Nuggets?
Nuggets, yeah, they looked good. Their only negative to that team is they don't really have so many bigs. They have Burry Klein, who's unreal defender and leader, especially in this league. Seemed to
Yeah.
pick an elite team of point guards, and I think that's going to be one of the worst games we see Moshe Heller play this season where it just watching the game, it really didn't look like he did much. And then looking at the box score, seeing he dropped in the 20s, I was like a little bit shocked. I was like, that's good stuff right there. He's an incredible baller. Going to be one of the
Yeah,
best
he
offensive players in
impacted the
this
game
league.
without seeming like he impacted it. The real breakout star was Ethan Alter, who was their 6th round pick and had like 18 points. He was awesome.
Was he
Um,
the was he the guard, the other guard with Moshe?
he, yeah, he was the off guard with
Oh, that
Moshe.
guy
I
was
was
good. I would not expect him to be a sixth round pick.
6th round pick, splashing threes, and so when you have those two now, and that you're not, and so that he's off the bench. So Ethan Alter, they have Lou Williams and Ethan Alter off the bench with Klein and Sushine and Judah Klein. I don't even think played. Team will be pretty good. They're going to be really good. I mean, that's a top seed. They're a contender for sure. I mean, if I moved to make a power ranking, they're in the top of the list of all the, other than maybe the Celtics. I mean, they're the top of the list of all the teams that I've seen. On the flip side, I don't. All right, we're going to argue on this one. I don't think the Rockets were that bad. I thought they
What?
played the Nuggets really well in the first half. They have an A1 scorer in Dan. They have an A1 defender in Donnie Heideman. They got two vets with championship experience in Friedman and Gruenberg. And then Mendel's is a solid center, and Sunshine's a great player off the bench. Tell me where I'm wrong.
I feel like I don't know. This team needs to work on teamwork for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Like
No, explain.
where pretty much they have Polyoff bringing up the ball. He moves well. He moves kind of like you know how football players take like ballet classes to like make them move well.
Yeah,
He moves well,
he
bro.
moves like a
He's
ballerina.
for sure. He's dancing around the court, getting good shots. That first half, he played really well. Probably had the best like first half out of any team. Looked like he dropped like 20 points out of the 30 that they had. But
Right,
then he was gassed because he
right.
really thought he needed to put his team on his shoulders and he was doing everything. But I think if he were to take the two guard position, not having to bring up the ball, not having to tire himself out, then they could really make something for themselves.
I agree. I don't think they utilized Grunberg at all. I even think with our team last year, like we kept using him, even though he was clearly out of shape to start the season. And then by the time the playoffs rolled around, he had a really good playoff. I actually think they should bring Grunberg off the bench and they should have him coach in the first half. And Sunshine's good enough to start. And Grunberg come off the bench, get the other team's second best guard guarding him, just so he can get a feel of the game as a coach on the sideline. I think Grunberg's the best coach in the league. Like he coaches JC varsity and he made like 3 championships as the JV head coach at Ramaz. He's a basketball genius. He clearly has talent on this team, and I think a team like this with some guys with like pure talent and raw talent and Donnie and Dan, I think they just to have someone like that and not utilize him is a complete waste. Like we utilize Gruenberg all the time, and we had really high IQ guys. Like I think they should use him, use his basketball brain. I don't know.
For sure, for sure. Also, when you're having him bring up the ball, like he'll pass the ball around, get everyone more involved, as opposed to just a run up shot. Even if that shot goes in, now everyone else on your team is less inclined to really step up and play defense because they're not really touching the ball on offense. So as long
Yeah,
as they're like passing it around, keeping everyone motivated to play both sides of the ball, I think they could be solid for real.
that's good. Let's move on. Knicks, Nets. I really like this game. Let me start off by saying I think Ellie Sudworth is a top 5 player in the league.
Edwards is on
He's
the Nets, right?
he's the one on the Nets. He's an absolute killer. He has an unstoppable move, which is the jump stop mid range pull up. He's strong as hell. And he willed his team to this victory. This was the Knicks game to win the whole way. I really liked what the Knicks were doing. They have 4 big men. They have 4 post guys, which you're like, oh, this is going to be so weird. But it actually wasn't. If you watch them, they went, oh, I'm going to give it to Schreier in the post. Oh, doesn't have the mismatch. I'll give it to Gelman. Oh, he doesn't have the mismatch. I'll give it to Farkas. Oh, I'll give it to Weisberg. And it was like, oh, they could post up anybody at any time and crash the boards and get rebounds and make it sloppy and be physical. And they were up the whole game. And I thought that was a brilliant game plan. And that's how you win rec ball, because nobody's like NBA skill where you stretch teams out with Tatums and Browns. They just don't exist.
Do they have the
And
shooting game though?
huh?
Do they have that 3 pointer
No,
like
not at all.
point guard
That's
play?
why they lost. They
Yeah.
shot maybe 15 for some reason. So they shot no threes in the first half. And then in the second half, it felt like they shot 15 threes, hit one, and the Nets just crawled back. And when they needed to get a basket, I think there was time ticking down, and they were up 2, or maybe it was a tie, and they needed a basket. And instead of going to what was working, they shot a 3, they missed. Nets came down, hit a shot. They kind of gave that one away. And I think Weisberg has a lot to walk away from, like happy about this team. But you know, definitely they need to stick to what works. I don't know. What are your
Also,
thoughts?
the Nets were missing one of their top guys in R.A. Halpert.
Yeah.
So, like, getting this win here was definitely big for them. Were any of the teams missing any players? Or these
No,
are
not on that night.
so
Just
just
R.A. Halpert.
Halpert? Yeah, so that's definitely a really big win. But what's stopping a team from only like just letting the Knicks shoot threes and then pushing the pace on offense?
That would be the way. That right? That would be the way to beat them. The thing is, though, I think it's easier said than done when you have a team that's that big. I don't think that many teams can match up with their size. I think the Pistons can. I think the Heat can. Uh, Maybe the Celtics because of Effie.
The
Maybe the Hawks.
Celtics
I don't
can.
know. But there's not.
Celtics are big.
Yeah, there's not that many teams that can match up with the Knicks' size. And I don't know. Yoel Schreier just wins in this league. He wins games. His teams are always good. So I don't think they're going to have a bad year.
Uh,
But you're right. You're right. By the way. if I'm opposing team just watching game one, I'm trying to make them shoot threes.
What I realized this year over last year, though, like the fifth and sixth guys on our team are getting buckets.
Yeah.
Last year it wasn't like that for most teams.
No.
Most teams had like 1 to 3 players that really did everything on offense. This year, if you like traded for a first round pick and you traded away your third and fourth for a fifth and sixth, you could be cooked. Because
You
those
could
third
be
and fourth,
cooked.
there's so many guys who are rated like a 6 overall or 6.5 overall that could have been drafted in the second round this year just because they're
Well,
either new guys or they didn't have the best season last year. It's very
no, absolutely. I mean, you go down the list. Eric Lifshitz was like a third rounder last year, sixth rounder this year. Noah Block was a second rounder 2 years ago, was fifth rounder this year. Ethan Alter, who was a sixth rounder this year, just had 20 points. Avi Bernstein, who was a fifth rounder this year, had 25 points. Um, like so I remember people were complaining, oh, it's not as good this year. It's actually better than it's ever been. This is the best the league's ever been. It's even better than the year when I won with the Hawks, which was a legendary year. I think this is the best year that the league's ever had in terms of talent. Top to bottom, there's nobody that stinks. Everybody's good. Everybody can play. You want to talk Heat Pistons? This
let's
one
skip that
wasn't.
Heat Piston.
I mean, it was just a bad situation for you guys in a sense that we had already scrimmaged 3 games.
What do you
So
mean you
that was
guys
our fourth game
scrimmaged
as a
3 games? Like
team.
you guys had practices?
I I rented a gym and did 2 hours, so that's 2 games of scrimmaging versus another TABC team. And I had a JCC game where it was the second night of a back to back. And so I told my team to rest and I brought my TABC team for the second night of the back to back. And that game had a refs, it had stakes, it had free throws, it had everything. So we had
Oh,
already, that was our fourth game, which I learned from last year. It takes about 3 games to click, and I didn't want to make the same mistake this year. So we came out knowing what we wanted to do. We came out with style, and you guys didn't have Ari Mitnick. That was just like a bad scenario. I think you guys are contenders. I think you're one of the best teams in the league. You're one of the strongest and toughest teams in the league. I wouldn't be worried.
I think our team also, like, we put up, like, what I've noticed from the other teams, like, looking at their scores at the end of the night, like, they had their full teams there. We put up 58 points. We all shot pretty poorly,
Yeah.
and we were missing our best player and hopefully highest score.
Yeah, a 20-point score. There's no reason you can't average 78 if you look at it that way. I'm not worried. I'm a team. I'm happy I caught you on the first night. Let's just say that.
Yeah, we'll
Um,
meet again in the playoffs. We
yeah, I hope
just,
so.
our team also, like, we got to learn how to play together. Like we
Yeah.
played well together. We got open shots. We missed a lot of open shots, a lot of that first week nonsense. We all got to work on our stamina a little bit because you pushed the pace against us. And most of your points that game came off of Avi Burstein going on that full court run nonstop and Johnny Levine.
Yeah. Well, that's how we're gonna play.
Yeah.
We're gonna play with a certain style and a certain pace. We have style. We know what we want to do. We're gonna try to do it. And you can either take it away or play into it. Again, we had already played. That was our fourth time playing together, so we knew exactly what we wanted to do, and we were going to execute. It'll be interesting to see the Nets because the Nets also scrimmaged. They're who we scrimmaged against.
Mhm.
So that'll be an interesting to see. Moving on, Clippers, Grizzlies. What do you take? I got to say something. This kid Pacey Jacoby is absolutely pay-per-view showtime. He's going to be the breakout star of the year. I think he's must see TV. This kid is must see TV. He was absolutely show stopping.
Until those
Um,
those free throws at the end.
I know he did miss the free
It's
throws. Those are
tough. It's
very, by the
tough.
way, it's kind of a theme here. We had two guys
multiple
who are
games, top tier players have been missing free throws.
absolutely top tier players missing free throws. 2 games there it happened. He missed the second one and he missed the open three in the corner, but he was pretty mesmerizing to watch. On the flip side, this Grizzlies team is pretty tough, right?
Grizzlies
They're
seems very
big.
solid.
They're
They're big, you
big. They're
said.
huh?
They look more like a guard squad.
What do you mean they have Moskovich, 6'8"?
No, that's Clippers, no?
Oh, I'm sorry, I meant the Clippers. This Clippers
Yeah, the
team is
Clippers seems
tough.
massive. They got like
Yeah,
Ellie
they're
Liftner as their point guard. That's
I
crazy.
know. They had
And then
Libner as their point
they have
guard.
that other center off the bench that's also huge.
Huge. Who is he?
Nasty. That's
They're a
crazy.
big team. They play this guy Avi K is really good. Um, having said that, they almost blew it. They were able to hold on. I got to be honest. I think the Clippers are really good. Lipner, smart. Parazer, smart. Avi K, smart. Moskovich, smart. None of those guys are electric. I think they're going to win a lot of games. I think they remind me of the reason I said Grizzlies is I think they remind me of the old grit and grind Grizzlies. Like I think it's not electric basketball. It's grit and grind and bully ball.
Yeah, they're
Whereas this Grizzlies
huge.
team reminds me of the Ja Morant Grizzlies a couple years ago. Really exciting. Kelson and Jacoby and Young and fast and moving. It was interesting to see a contrasting of two styles. The
No.
Clippers won out. Pacey missed those free throws, but both those teams are going to be good
Yeah, I was surprised it was the Grizzlies really went out like that and held on most of the game.
because they had no size.
Yeah, I just didn't expect it. And then it was just good basketball both sides.
And that was probably the best game of the week to watch. If you have a chance to rewatch it, I'd recommend anyone watch it. I'm going to move on to the Pelicans versus the Kings. Honestly, the Pelicans were missing Rafi Mitnick and Sam Benheim. They're missing the whole team. That's their two of their best players.
Wait, do they have Charlie and Sam Benheim?
I think Charlie and Sam were yes, I think so, and I think both of them were missing, and Rafi. So
I
it's
thought Charlie was there. I feel like he was there now.
maybe he was there. I don't know. I don't remember seeing him, but I can't judge a team missing their guys, and the Kings wallop them. Kings played with great pace.
Yeah, but
They
it
know
wasn't
how they
even
want to
that.
play.
Like it was a
Cyclic,
close game after the first. I don't really understand what happened.
no, go ahead, break it down.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like after the first, it was 22-20. It's almost like the Pelicans just gave up and the Kings just went all out.
I think it's similar. Well, I mean, you could say the same thing about the Rockets versus the Nuggets, right? It was a tie game at halftime, and then the Nuggets just walloped them. Is that because the Rockets gave out, or is that the better team with more weapons and that was deeper just won? The Kings had their squad. The Pelicans didn't. And the Kings had the best player on the floor, and on a normal night, the Pelicans might have the best player on the floor between Rafi and Siklik. It's pretty close.
I feel like this game also like Cyclic wasn't feeling it as much as he usually does.
So that's a silver lining to pull if you're the Kings, right?
Yeah.
That's he wasn't feeling it. I don't know. I didn't really watch it. I really skimmed
The
this
thing
one.
with the Kings this week was everyone was hitting their shots
Yeah,
and taking shots. Like no one was like afraid. The thing with the Kings is everyone on the squad is young, like 22, 23 years old. They're all going to be running hard, pushing the pace every single game. Even if they're not hitting their shots, they're going to be trying to run off teams off the court. And they're
yeah. I agree. I think that's actually going to work really well. It'll be interesting to see how well they fare.
and
They
a lot of
definitely
these
got a
guys, like
favorable week
along
one.
with being the same age, like know each other.
Yeah,
Bunch of
they're all
DRS
pals.
kids on the squad.
Yeah.
It's good
What do you
stuff.
what do you think is the upside for this King squad?
The Kings have a lot of upside.
You're a fan.
I'm a big fan of this King squad. Their
What?
guard play is unreal,
Who?
especially like Cyclic, David Cohen, always going to be pushing that pace, playing good defense. Zach
Right.
on, known like great player. Obviously, I think he's going to be one of the steals of the draft.
This guy Zach on. Yeah, I heard good things about him.
I only hear good things about this guy. It's like sounds like a baller. But then like Bennett did his thing on offense. Tall player, athletic player. Glider also. Glider played it well. Seems to have a
I,
lot of
we might
punch.
we might have a couple of there might be a couple of like welcome to the league players. I mean, I don't know. There might be some guys that next year that they're going to improve their draft stock just based off this run.
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting. So Kings are the team to watch. They play the Nuggets next week, so that'll be a real test to
That's a
see.
fun matchup also because it's guards on guards.
Yeah, matchup of the week perhaps. The matchup of the week this week is I would say was Celtics Hawks. So this one's interesting. I couldn't tell if either, and in real time I couldn't tell if either of these teams are both overrated or they're both the two best teams and they just faced each other. And as I kept watching, I came to the very reasonable conclusion that these are the two best teams and they're just facing each other. FU Froylich played incredible defense. The Celtics played incredible defense. And Jack Reinhardt did Jack Reinhardt stuff, man. His pace control was incredible. He kept it low scoring. He did not let those guys get out and run. I'm actually pretty disappointed in the Celtics in the fact that they had so much talent. They got this guy number 17 is sick. We got Deutsch who's sick. Effie is clearly the best player in the league. It's not even close. He had an incredible game with the best defender on him. He was awesome. The ball slowed down whenever he touched it. Incredible athlete. I'm pissed off they didn't lob the alley oop when they had the chance.
Yeah, I saw
And
that.
all that, they should have lost this game, the Celtics. They should have lost Mikey Mitnick, who is a champion and someone who you would want at the line. He missed both. And that's not something that you'd expect.
So you said before that Mikey Mitnick. No, not Mikey Mitnick. Which guy was the guy who was picked late? One of the
Mikey,
Mikey Mitnick, yeah. So what's his deal for the playoffs?
he's not there for the playoffs, but who knows, right? Because, I mean, obviously, we want him to be able to move to Israel and be peaceful and that be awesome for him. But like geopolitical climate is a little bit up in the air. Depending on what happens, it's very possible that he plays out through the playoffs and this Hawks is the favorite. But if everything goes according to plan that we want it to, Mikey will not be there for the playoffs. And I don't think they're going to get a good sub for him. I don't think they utilized him perfectly tonight. They're playing him at center. I think he's more of a forward. Having said that, I thought he played really well.
But
I
then
thought
who do you
Jack
put at
played
center on that
incredible
squad?
tonight. I
You
know
have
you
to
and
put
I
him
are on
at
the
center.
opposite end or on two different ends of the spectrum on the Jack Reinhardt train. I'm riding I am the conductor. I am front passenger on the train. I think he played awesome. I thought he played with pace, collected, kept this game tight. It's all the other things he does. But at the
No,
same
Jack
time,
Reinhardt's for sure good. It's very
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
I was saying who else? Like you can't put Jack Reinhardt at the center.
No, they don't have another center.
You have to put Mitnick. And if Mitnick leaves for the playoffs, where does this team go?
I mean, they have that backup, that big beefy guy that with the awkward form, and he could play center. I mean, I don't know. I think there is a ceiling, but yeah, there's obviously they're
Also,
obviously better.
you
I don't
have
know if
Jack.
Matty Reinhardt play tonight?
I have no idea. I can't tell from the screen.
I couldn't tell if he even played. And if he didn't play, it's even scarier. I just got to say one thing about the Celtics. I was a little bit disappointed in their pace. They have the best full court player in the entire league. And what I mean by that is the best fast break player in the league. He's the fastest. He could jump the highest. He could finish the smoothest. He has the best motor. And every time they ran a break, every single one of their points is on primary or secondary transition baskets. And whenever they tried to do shit in the half court. It was tough. Like And the Hawks are an amazing defensive team. Why aren't you just trying to speed the game up? You have Effie fucking Freundlich, pardon my language. Speed this game up. Throw it ahead. Try to get
That's like
some.
it's not so much Effie's game though. Like he has the potential to be an unstoppable because he moves like he's not Jewish, and everyone else in the league moves like they're Jewish.
Right.
Like he could just throw it down on any given play,
Yeah.
but you have to like take into account like you could get injured trying something crazy.
I'm not
And
saying that he should try something crazy, but I think if you rewatch the game, you'll notice that a lot of their baskets they got and they went on this little run were just pushing the ball, just not walking it up. And it wasn't even like throw it to Effie and go dunk it. It was Effie okay, throw it ahead. Effie gets it, drives, kicks, swing, three. Drive,
I don't know
catch,
if he could do
swing, three.
that the whole game though.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
No.
just not his style.
Effie could do that the whole game.
You think?
Yeah, because he plays college basketball. He plays at that pace all the time.
Yeah, but then I don't know. It's just like with Effie, it's always like, does he want to do it though?
I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. Now that's a different answer. You ask
Only
him if he
Effie's got
wants
the
it.
answer for that.
Huh?
Only Effie's got the answer for that. But
I
if
thought
he
he played
wants to,
incredible. He
he could
shot the
be one
ball
of the
from
hot.
40 feet. He played great
Yeah,
defense.
he's unreal at basketball. He's unreal. He's tall, long,
But
explosive.
nonetheless, they should have gotten a loss. And good on Yoav Deutsch for getting his first time he won his first game of the season, I think. And I think he's gonna have he's gonna have a contender for the first time.
Yeah, they're
So
unreal.
happy for him.
Unreal squad.
So the next one is interesting. Lakers Jazz. Did you watch this game?
Like parts of it. I
So the
couldn't.
Jazz open up this game, and the Jazz is everyone's preseason darling, one of everyone's preseason darling. Got a great team, and they open this team and go up 14-1, just kicking the shit out of the Lakers. It was this JEC team, scrappy. They all played together in high school, and they played together 2 years ago in this league. And Boosie looks like the Boost is loose again. The Boost show. Just give it to me. Goffeld looks like his brother Yisrael Feld. They were clicking. They looked awesome. And but the Lakers might be the scrappiest team in the whole league. Like they just didn't give up. They kept going, but even so, the Jazz are up 10 with 10 minutes to go, and they start doing what the Knicks did. And instead of figuring out a way to get an easy basket, they shot a lot of threes. The Lakers stepped up the defense on the Jazz was bad. They looked very gassed. They weren't rotating on screens. They got tired on picks, and the Lakers buried wide open threes. There was no contested threes. Gottfeld did what he can, and the Lakers pulled it out and beat them, and shouldn't have. I was gonna go on this podcast as I was watching, preparing, saying like Lakers, don't worry about it. It's the first game, it's not a big deal. But this Jazz team, I was gonna rave for them, and I still am. I think they're really good. I think if I'm the Jazz and I need a basket, I don't think the answer are face up threes. I think I would get Boosie at the mid post, like Carmelo Anthony, and get him the ball there for the face up, because that way he either has a jab, one dribble layup, or a midi pull up, rather than where he faces up at the three and he just has a jab, two dribble layup, allowing the defense to converge, or a pull up for three, which is a little bit farther of a shot. And I think they need a point guard. I think they need a point guard. Oh, one more thing about the Celtics. Anton Sullivan's my favorite I've ever seen him play. But yeah, I think the Jazz need to get easier baskets when the game's on the line. I don't know. What do you take?
I don't know these teams enough, but I know that like the Lakers look like a hustle and heart squad.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
They got a ton of size in Zucker and Goldberg. So that not a lot of teams have that. They
Ron
got
Heller's a
Heller,
great shooter, great shooter.
Shore, Winters. They got the dogs, dude, and they just outdogged the Jazz. They just wanted it more. And you hate to say it, and I'm not saying that that's the Jazz fault, But I mean, just rewatch the tape. They just need to be, I think a few times it could have called a timeout. Now, I think if they play in the playoffs between these two, I don't think the Lakers want to see the Jazz. I don't think they have an answer for Boozy. I think Boozy was incredible tonight. He was awesome. He looked like the best player in the league. Um, Especially that first half. I'm just confused. Why not get him the ball in easier positions to score down the stretch, especially when he's your guy. I'm certainly wanting to put him in positions where he can score, but you know, um, shout out to the Lakers. I think they're the scrappiest team in the league. I think they're the grittiest and the grindiest, and they reminded me a lot of the Pacers, the Indiana Pacers. Not so much the pace and the fast pacedness, but in the grittiness and the grindiness and getting after it and never giving up and getting baskets from different people. And they're like Indiana,
But
honestly.
also, like you said, it is the first week, and every like you said, you got your guys out to play together, like puts you at a great advantage. The Kings go out to play together, they're great advantage. You just said the Lakers squad is the JEC boys. So
Yep.
just from those words, I'm guessing these guys played together or play with each
Play
other,
together,
know each
play
other.
together, eat together. They hang out. It's a huge
So it's very
advantage.
possible they all just looked at each other and they're like, okay, guys, time to lock in. Doesn't matter who gets that bucket in. Let's just run it. Down
Yeah,
14-1. It's
that
like
you're
all
absolutely right.
like it's similar to our game where Pistons Heat where but just the opposite. Like the Lakers looked at each other and they're like, okay, we're going all out. Our team started off with Barron showing up late, who was our first round pick or second round pick, you should say, without the captain. We started with two second rounders in, no, two seventh rounders in. Everyone showed up late almost. No one was stretched in anything. But like in this league, like if you really just like it's two 20-minute halves, the games go by so fast that you could come back from a lot of leads and you could really put or you could do the opposite and put teams away really fast like you did to us.
Yeah,
You keep that you keep that motor for 40 minutes, which honestly like it's not the longest time, then you'll be winning like s- so many games just on that motor. Doesn't
yeah,
even
absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. I think Motor wins rec leagues.
yeah,
Is Motor is just wanting it because,
especially with running time. You get that early lead and you could really get it.
but also on the flip, like you get that early lead and you blow it, and the other team gets it, like then they get their fight or flight in, and you start playing intimidated and scared.
Basketball's
You're
all
fucked.
about momentum these days.
Yeah. Oh
Like
no, all about momentum.
you guys took that momentum from us early in the game. You kept it the entire time.
You guys came out hard in the second half, but we had to call a timeout, which I thought Utah should.
Johnny Levine hit like two mid-range shots that I wanted to like kill that rim. It's like
He's
man was
great.
swishing everything except for those two mid-range shots that were like the only out and in shots I've ever seen in my entire life. And
Yeah.
and then you called the timeout and it killed the momentum. It was a great timeout call.
Yeah, I think people got it. It's something that it took me a long time to learn how to utilize is the timeout. It's a huge advantage. I was terrible at it until this fall, where I just learned it a little bit more coaching with Rafi Mitnick and playing with Adi Markovic. I think the Jazz should utilize the timeout a little bit more. I think they're going to be great. I'm not worried. Again, like we won the championship last year. We were 0-3 and should have been 0-4 if Mike Herman doesn't hit the miracle shot of all time.
Oh yeah, that was
Right?
crazy.
Terror, he fumbles the pass. It's in the air. He just
We
catches it
were
and
all
throws it
ready
at the
to
rim.
kill Mike. We're gonna kill Herman for fumbling that pass, and then he just throws it in the air swish.
Throws it into the, yeah, he fumbles the pass. It bobbles. It goes up. He catches, throws it at the rim. Swish, game over. I think we were down 1 or 2. Huge. But, so, we would have been 0-4. I don't think, I think that Jazz are contenders. Boosie is the star. And Goffeld is certainly a great number 2 option. I think I want to see a little bit more out of Fuhrer. But he's certainly a great player. I think they're really good. I think I'm being a little hard on them because I really believe in them.
Thing is in this league, all you got to do is learn how to play with each other by playoffs. Because everyone makes the playoffs. Just depends who gets the buys in the playoffs and who has to play their elimination games.
I'm really excited that you said that because that leads greatly into the last team of the week, which is the Sixers versus the Hornets. I don't know if you had the chance to watch this game.
No, I watched that game because I'm playing the Sixers on Wednesday. I wanted
Oh,
to, which is
so
yeah.
I'll let you absolve yourself so that you don't have to face the wrath of Stevie Paul. But I was tremendously impressed and with whatever the opposite of disappointed it is with the Hornets, with their heart, with their effort. I think Jake Greenberg is an A1 killer. He's a killer and he's a leader. And I think this guy, I love this guy Barry and this guy Noah Isaacs. Stetner, obviously very good. I thought they played their hearts out. They were getting a ton of rebounds. They hustled and bustled. I'm literally watching the game with the, and I just thought the effort on the Sixers
Was not there
for
until the
for
end.
36 minutes was absolutely pathetic. It was. And I love those guys. Dietz is my boy. Stevie, he's my boy. I like Evan Chesner. I don't know him that well, but I like him. I like Jonah Lasco. These are good guys. I like these guys. I like David White's. They they did not rebound. They were doing one-on-one crap. And if I'm them, like you have the ace in the hole, I think Stevie Paul is one of the most unstoppable forces in the whole league. There's only two guys who could stay with him, and that's me and one of the Mitnicks, maybe.
I
And
don't know
even maybe me. I don't
if
even
my
know if I could.
knee's
Huh?
healthy on Wednesday, I think I should be fine.
No, I think you could stay with Stevie. Actually, you're one of the guys who could stay with him. You have the size and the speed, but there's not that many guys that could stay with Stevie, and they're going possessions without him touching the ball. And I'm watching, going like, "What the?" I couldn't wait to get on this pod and tear him to shreds. And I go like, "What is this ISO stuff?" Every time he touched it, something good happened. They're not giving it to him. And then on the flip side, Stevie, why are you letting the Hornets, whose tallest guy is 6'2", get all these offensive rebounds? They must have had 10 to 20 offensive rebounds just parlaying this game on. And they go up 10 with like a minute left, 2 minutes left.
Like the
And the
entire
Sixers decide to start caring, or they turn on the extra gear that they're capable of, and they went on an absolute tear. They played great because they're a great team with great players, savvy vets, smart players. I thought Stevie's trade for Evan Chesner was genius. Chesner, Dietz, Lasco, and Paul is a really scary starting five, and I think they're a contender. But they got to play with that effort. They were walking on D, they were giving up threes. But then when they just said, screw that, we're not doing that anymore, they stole this game right from the Hornets. And I feel bad for the Hornets because they deserved it because of the heart they played with. But the Sixers are just that talented. And I want them to do well because I like those guys. And I think that team was drafted the right way.
Do you know who the first pick for the Hornets was?
Uh, I think it was Avery Stepner. It was Avery Stepner, and it was Benny Tuckman, who I don't think was there tonight.
Uh
So I think that's another thing.
oh, so that's big. The ones in this league not showing up for the first games is pretty wild to me, honestly.
I didn't see Benny Tuckman out there. So the Sixers barely crawl past the Hornets team without Benny Tuckman. If I'm them, I'm going into the booth and saying, look, no more offensive rebounds, and every single offensive play, Stevie needs to be a part of it in some way, whether that's him setting an on-ball
Can
screen,
Stevie
him
shoot?
getting it in the post, him just touching it in the high and giving it back out. They need him just involved because every time he touches the ball, the other team's scared. You know what other team's not? They're scared of Stevie. I mean, Dietz is a great player. Chesney is great. Lasco's great. These are great players. But you know who's puts fear in the heart of other teams is Stevie. He's so big and so skilled. He needs to touch it. He needs to be involved, whether it's setting a pick, whether it's a give and go, whether it's getting in a post touch, whether it's just spacing it out. He can't go 4 or 5 possessions where he's not involved. And if I'm Stevie, he had 4 or 5 blocks. He can't give up offensive rebounds. That's on him. Jokic doesn't give up offensive rebounds. Don't give up offensive rebounds. They
Yeah,
do
see,
that, and if they play with the energy they played with the last 2 minutes of tonight, they're a championship contender. If they play with the energy they played with the first 36 minutes, it's gonna be a long season. And I think I'm being very fair, but that's the honest truth. I think they tell you the same thing. On the flip side, I think the Hornets, I did a lot of upside here. They go and played their ass off without Benny Tugman and almost beat a contender. Hats off to them.
yeah, I really thought the Sixers were gonna murder this Hornets squad, just based off like the first podcast and like not seeing any like top 10 players on the Hornet squad. I mean, it's possible that some of these guys play like top 10 players during the season. Just from the start, like it didn't look like that. But
Right.
the Hornets are very like scrappy, good defense, take smart shots. Doesn't look like they have a ball hog on the team. They just look like a
No.
solid squad all around.
Yeah,
I don't
they definitely
and like
are. That's exactly right.
that almost won them a game at the end of the day. Just
Yeah.
being solid, not making many mistakes, not like really turning the ball
No,
over.
you're
At the
right.
end of the game, they missed a few like wide open
No,
passes
they
that
panicked. They just turned the ball over like crazy.
Once those Sixers like actually start playing defense, now it's two sides to the coin. On one side, it's like the Hornets played a very good game. On the other side, it's like I don't think the Sixers played any defense for the first 36 minutes.
No, not to what they're capable of, at least. I think
No,
maybe we're
they
being
weren't
harsh, but we're
moving.
just,
They
huh?
weren't moving to the point where I was like, what's up with this? Like they were ranked very high by you,
Yeah.
Baron, that other guy who's in the podcast. You guys all ranked them like an A minus, A plus type, and they showed it in the last 2 minutes of the game, and that's what won them the game ultimately. But especially since the other team just didn't have a guy to stop Stevie with his size, he could have went up, bricked the layup, got his own board, but like and then put it in. But they didn't really show up until the last 2 minutes.
The
They,
last play they had from was a great play where they split it. He shoots out. He gets a complete ISO on the side, rips through, drives the lane, lays it in. And then he steals it. That was really nice. I think they're going to be really good.
when a guy like Stevie gets that baseline, it's like an automatic bucket, especially
There's
against the
not much you can
Hornets,
do.
where
I'm
he's
actually really excited to see you two match up because I think I think it's a good match. I'm
right
excited to
now.
see it.
Right now, my knee's like busted. I don't like it's been hurting like the whole summer, so I'm hoping like a few Advils will make it chill. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I thought you guarded me very well last week.
Yeah, but that was on my Advils.
Oh, fair.
So
Yeah,
like
you might need a lot of Advils for Stevie. I'm not as physical as he is.
yeah, but you also have a better shot,
I could shoot it better than Stevie.
and I probably have a little bit of I don't know. Stevie, and I might be around the same way.
Yeah, he's a big boy. He's strong. Let's look at the matchups next week and we could call it. All right. T Wolves Suns. Who are you taking?
Let's go with the Suns.
I'm gonna go with the T Wolves. I'll bet you a
Who's on
pizza,
the
a slice of
Who's on the T Wolves?
that's Herman Mason, Benemy Lifer. Oh, Mason might be injured. I'm gonna go with you too. I'm gonna take the Suns.
Nah, I think the Sun. Like I've heard good things about Yona Tarzik. Nah, Suns are an underrated squad, honestly. Tawny Angle
This
being the captain, like 6'4". David Markovitz, another tall, good, smart player.
6'3".
Who else? They have
The
Caesar, good
Suns might be
offensive
a sleeper
player.
cell. They might be a KGB agent. I think I'm calling the Suns the sleeper cell. The sleeper Suns. I think nobody knows them. I think they might come in and dominate.
No, they're good.
By the
Especially,
way,
I hear
Tarzik
Yona
rated as
Tarzik's a
6.
bucket.
Huh?
I hear Yona Tarzik's a bucket. Straight
Yeah,
up.
and he was rated as 6.
Yeah.
But he got drafted in the first round because thank God. So basically, Avery Stepner, I run into him at 24 Hour Fitness. And he's like, I hear like some of these kids are rated terribly. And then I was like who? And he starts breaking them down. He's like, Jonah Tarzik is a 9. Stacey Jacoby is an 8. This other guy, another guy is an 8. And I started naming these guys, and I was like, oh yeah, and they're just trying to sneak in with these youngsters. So I post in the chat. I write in the chat. I go, Tarzik's an 8, Tarzik's a 9, Jacoby's an 8. Another guy I wrote, I forgot who, an 8. Another guy, I forgot who, an 8. Sudworths is a 9. There's another guy. And all these youngsters, Stevie, a lot of youngsters text me like, "What the hell?" And I'm like, I have look. If they had just rated themselves an 8, I would have no problem. But the fact they rated themselves a 6 to try to like sneak past, I'm not about it. Don't ruin the integrity of
Yeah,
the
it's
league.
not even like that though. Like someone could rate themselves as a 6 just because like most of us don't play competitive ball during the year, especially like the guys around my age. We have
That's true.
college.
And to
Like
be
in high
honest, the,
school when we
the
were playing ball all day, it's like okay, we'll give ourselves an 8 or a 9 because we're just working out and playing ball all day. After a year of not shooting a basketball, we're like, can we even shoot right now? Like we gotta
yeah,
by the playoffs we might be able to get to a 9, but 8 overall. But like starting it off, we're all sixes pretty much,
yeah.
unless these
No,
guys are
and to be
playing.
honest, like the Mitniks rate themselves like zeros, but people know him, so I'm sure Tarzik rated himself just low because people do that, and they just didn't
But
know him.
also if you're like last season new to the league, I rated myself like a 5 or a 6, just because even if you think you're better, like you don't want to be that guy who rates himself like an 8 out of 10, and then you get drafted first overall for a team that doesn't know you, and then you like wet the bed, and you're not that guy, you know?
There was a guy who did that last year. He rated himself an 8, and he was a 2.5. He was awful.
They pick
He
you
was.
early, and you just like you'd rather just like not ruin the season for like a group of guys.
I, I couldn't agree with you more. Oh, dude, that's so funny. I couldn't agree with you more. Oh, okay, so let's see it. All right, we got Suns over T-Wolves. Magic versus Thunder.
Dude, I gotta like
I don't even know who's on these teams. Who's on the Magic?
Magic's the bookbinder squad.
Oh yeah,
And the Thunder's
the no center
Malka,
Wizzo squad.
JJ Zack. Yo, I'm taking JJ Zackheim over the Bookbinders.
Give me Bookbinder. They got 3 guys 6'4", and the other team
What's
has.
6'4"? You always get heights wrong.
How tall are the Bookbinders? Six
Not
three.
6 foot, like 6'2s and less.
They got 3 big
Maybe
guys,
one six
and
three, but they're not like I wouldn't call them like big guys. They're all like small forwards. No,
yeah, they are. I think Yehuda had a really good year last year. He plays like Shangoon.
one of them was really solid last year. One of them
Yeah, Yehuda.
was hitting his shots.
He killed us. He killed us on the Kings team. Yeah, he plays like Shangoon. He is his twin brother. I don't know. Maybe you're right. JJ Zackheim. It's hard to say no against JJ. But I'm gonna take the Bookbinders.
The
You take
Thunder.
JJ.
Yeah.
We'll bet a slice of pizza on
Also,
each
they
game.
got Daniel Malka.
Yeah,
Malka brings that intensity.
he's a great player, great leader. Maybe the best leader in the game. Up there, Burry's probably number one. Malka's up top 5.
Strong player also. I feel like
Strong.
he'll do well on defense against one of those bookbinders.
Maybe he might be too small. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We got the Kings versus the Nuggets. I'm gonna take the Nuggets.
I don't know. That's a tough one. Let me just go with the Kings, just because I know a
We'll
bunch
do
of
a
those
soda. We'll
guys.
bet one soda per game. We got the Nets and the Heat. I'm obviously gonna take my squad. I think
Yeah,
the Nets will
I
be a
got your
good
squad
game.
also. You guys
It'll
got them.
it depends on the health of R.A. Halpert. If he's healthy, it's going to be a really good game. If he's not, it'll
The
probably
health
still
of
be a
who?
really
The
good
health
game.
of
I think
who?
Sudworths is a top 5 player, and
Sudworth is like another smaller guy though. It's hard. It's hard for
Sudworths
him.
is not small. He's
He's
very
not small.
strong.
No, he's strong height wise. I'm saying.
I wouldn't call him small, but he's definitely not 6'5".
How tall is he?
Probably
On
six
TV, he
two.
looked like 6'2".
Yeah.
On the screen, he looked like he was like 5'9".
No, it's just because he played guard. He's big. He's tall.
Oh, it's very interesting.
Sixers Pistons.
I still
Marcus,
got your
I'm gonna
squad.
take the Pistons.
Yeah, I got my squad. Pistons over Sixers.
Grizzlies
Also,
Bucks in a.
also our captain's got some proving himself this week after missing last week.
How badly did you give it to him in the chat?
There's no point of giving it to the chat. He only answers the chat so much. I was just happy he said he's in for this week.
He's gonna play well. I mean, I think you guys match up really well with them. I think. Well, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see it. Grizzlies Bucks. Give me the Bucks. Though I want to see Pacey Jacoby. That's a prime
Is
time
Haber
watch.
playing?
Huh?
Is Haber playing? Oh,
I
you
don't
don't know.
know.
If Haber plays, I got the Bucks. Yeah. Haber could also be like he could be better than Effie, honestly.
You think so?
In this league, yeah. Haber's a beast.
Oh, that'll be interesting to see. Knicks Magic. Give me the Knicks.
Seems the wait, didn't the isn't the Magic the bookbinders?
Yeah. Looks like they're doubling up for the week.
Yeah, I got the Knicks.
Yeah, I think the Knicks are going to take it.
The
I think
Knicks
the
need
Celtics beat the Cavs. I think the Celtics match up really well with the
yeah,
Cavs.
Celtics over Cavs, yeah.
Yeah, let's go. Clippers, Rockets, Clippers. I don't think we have anything we disagree with there.
Clippers match up so well against them.
Yeah, it's just a
But
bad
if
matchup for the Rockets.
yeah,
No
Polyoff could drop
size.
30 in that game though.
Moskovich. Who drops 30?
Polyoff could get
Yeah,
what's his
for
first
sure. I don't.
just
Well,
because
I don't know.
the
Littner's going to be
Clippers aren't.
guarding him. That's really one of the best defenders in the league. And then they have
I
nobody
feel
for
like
Moskovich.
AVK is gonna be on him.
Bobby K. It doesn't matter. They got so many guys that the Clippers are really good.
Yeah, good squad.
Clippers are going to beat the shit out of them. I think the Clippers. I think the Clippers might be. I'm looking at the West. I don't know. They look like they might be the best team in the West. I don't know. We'll see.
They literally just took all the tall people in the Jewish league.
Yeah, smart.
Ev
That's how you win.
Zaretsky also. He was on the Hornets last year. He was a good
Yeah,
shooter.
Zaretsky's very good player. Jazz Pelicans. I think if the Pelicans have their full team, I take the Pels, and that's not against the Jazz.
Which one's
I
the
still think the Jazz are
Pelicans?
contenders, even if they
Oh,
go
that
0 and
squad,
2.
yeah. The Pelicans, yeah, definitely need the win after this past week. It's performance. You add Rafi. The thing is, you add the best player or Rafi Mitnick. He's either one or the two on that squad,
He's
right?
the best player on the Pelicans.
Yeah. So you offensively, defensively, 6'3" ish.
Yeah,
Just
strong as hell.
being on the court alone is a game changer on
Yeah,
both sides.
total game changer. I think he can match up with Boosie really well. So that's one of the rare guys who has the strength and speed to match up with Boost.
The Pelicans are like the West version of the Hawks. They're
Yeah,
just they both have like five really good guys.
with that are long with
Yeah.
long arms and
That will
defense.
play defense every play
Yeah,
and annoy
Chesner.
you. Yeah, for sure.
That's a tough team. I'll take the Pels. Hawks beat the Hornets.
Yeah.
Wolves beat the Thunder. And Lakers Suns. Give me the Lakers. I think
I
they
got
go
the
2-0.
Suns. I got the Suns.
All right. Well, we got our splits. It's here. It's recorded. Hold on. Let me stop sharing right now. Where is that? So, what are your thoughts? Any last thoughts here?
I don't know. It's just a very good league all around. A lot of good squads. Any week, any team could take it.
There's no favorite. No favorite. I think anyone could win this thing. I think there's only two teams that maybe be a long uphill battle, but if you told me the Clippers won the championship, I wouldn't be surprised. Pistons, I wouldn't be surprised. Hawks, no, I wouldn't. Pelicans, T Wolves,
Jack,
when
I
they
think
get healthy, Cavs,
you could tell your
Heat.
you could tell your team's so good because you were actually passing the ball.
I had 14 assists.
Dude,
I
like
was passing a lot.
I was ready for you not to pass the ball. I was like, okay, we take Jack and we're winning this game. We start off with a man. I'm taking you. you just start passing it to Johnny Levine, and I'm like, what the heck? Why is Johnny cooking? I wanted Jack to take some bad shots against me.
No,
Like,
Johnny's incredible. Johnny's an incredible offensive player. I think the league is the dumbest, some of the dumbest people to let that guy fall in my lap. I cannot believe that
he's
that kid
also
is
tall.
skilled
It's
as he
like
is. He went to the 48th pick.
I don't know how that's possible. And
48th pick. This kid had 28 points.
he
The
had
kid
28
was
points, and then he left the gym. He's like, I shot poorly. I'm like, what the?
right.
I'm like, nah, bro, don't even try that.
Right. We're gonna have a lot of fun, our team. Where I
I
think we're ready to win. I
I
think
think in
I
the
think
future though, when the league's like sending out the rankings and stuff, like before the season starts, should really just like ask us all for like our age and our height.
I
But then
agree.
at the end of the day, if you have a 23-year-old that's 6'3", you're taking him over the 35-year-old that's 5'8".
They
Even if
get
they're
the age.
35
You
year old,
have the age because they asked for the year of graduation, so you have the age. They don't have the height. You need to have the height. I totally agree with you.
the
You
height's
need to know
big.
if a guy is above 6 feet.
Just be like, just put like the height, weight, and then like list your build. Like say if you're like a muscular, like how active you are. Like if you add those things, then like it could be a huge game changer for the league in terms
Yeah, I
of
think
trying to
start with
get the
height.
most fair teams as possible.
Look, I think this is the fairest teams they've ever had. There's
No,
there's
these are
10
very good.
contenders. There's 20 contenders out of 22 teams.
I think making there an A league and a B league was very good. Also,
Change the game.
there's no scrubs this year.
Yeah, SJ Tannebaum, starter. He jumped tip for the B League.
It's upsetting he took the L. I was really rooting for him. I was ready for him to walk into that gym saying I dropped 40.
Yeah, no. He had 4 shots and 3 air balls.
Nah, nah.
He had 4 shots. All right, Marcus, you're the man, brother.
Thank you for having me. Have a
Oh,
good
yeah,
night.
thanks for coming. Well, I should have you back on. I loved having you. You really know your stuff.
Thank you.
That was
Thank
some
you.
educated stuff. All right, brother. Talk to you later.
I'll see you.
Peace. Let me end this recording.